Welcome to Lebanon Trail Class of 2024. Today we'll cover high school schedules, your four-year plan, and specifically your ninth grade schedule. We'll call this presentation High School 101. All students in FISD need 26 credits to graduate, which include 4 years of your core classes. So 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 4 years of science, and 4 years of social studies. Besides your core classes, you'll also need to take some mandatory electives, a semester of health and a semester of speech, a year of PE, 2 years of world language, 1 year of fine art, and 1 year of technology. Also, you'll choose 4 electives to make up those 26 credits. All students will be under the multidisciplinary endorsement and will need to pass 5 end-of-course exams, including English 1, Biology, Algebra 1, English 2, and U.S. History. FISD high schools run on a block schedule with alternating days, or 4 classes per day, which we call A Day and B Day. You'll take 4 of your classes one day and the other 4 the next day. We'll start school on an A Day, so we'll alternate the days of the week as A Day Monday, B Day Tuesday, A Day Wednesday, B Day Thursday, and then A Day on Friday. Since we end the week with an A Day, that means we'll start the next week with a B Day and continue alternating. This type of schedule is really helpful because you're only responsible for 4 classes a day, which can really help with homework. A typical ninth grade schedule might look something like this. On A Day, the student might start the day with Algebra 1 and then go to English, Spanish 1, and then end the day with art. On B Day, they might have a biology class first period, and then maybe a health or speech class second period, then go to PE, and end the day with world geography. Let's talk about the 4-year plan, with a big emphasis on the word plan. So why do we ask you to make a 4-year plan? It's really to get you thinking about the classes that you have to take and the classes that you wish to take and how to fit them in over 4 years. 4-year plans are a work in progress. As an 8th grader, no one expects you to know what you want to take as a senior. This plan can be changed each spring when we open up Career Plan for you to make changes. So anything you decide today can be changed. A 4-year plan is just that. It's a plan. When you make your 4-year plan, we've got some resources to help you. The CAPE planning worksheets that show the CAPE pathways are located in the course catalog. We've also got the What Counts for What handout and the Class Choices handout, which show all of the 9th and 10th grade classes on one side and the 11th and 12th grade classes on the other side. To learn more about classes that are offered in high school, you can refer to the online course guide and academic catalog, which can be found on the FISD website under the Students button, and then Course Guides and Academic Catalogs. Here you'll find a description of each class along with any prerequisite information or fees associated with class. A term you need to be familiar with is prerequisite. A prerequisite is a class that must be taken before another class. For instance, before you take Spanish 2, you probably need to have Spanish 1. Before you take animation, you must take 3D modeling and animation as a prerequisite. Remember to work backwards. Start with the class that you want to take senior year and see what prerequisites you have to get there. Also, you'll need to look at those prerequisites to see if they have prerequisites. For instance, if you want to take forensic science as a senior, you have to have the prereqs of biology, chemistry, and law enforcement. Biology doesn't have a prereq, but chemistry has the prereq of biology and algebra. Law enforcement has the prereq of survey of law. You get the idea. Look at your ultimate goal and then work backwards to see how you're going to get there and what you have to take to get there. The Career and Technology Center, or the CATE Center, has students from all 11 high schools in Frisco ISD. It typically houses the upper level CATE courses. Many of the CATE classes are double blocked. Take a look at the online course catalog for suggested courses, sequences, and prerequisites. Look at the back of your card to see which 9th grade courses are taught at the CATE Center. Here are a couple of examples of CATE Center classes and their prerequisites. Let's say that you wanted to be in the Advanced Culinary Arts class in 12th grade. You would have to be in the Culinary Arts class as a prerequisite And in order to be in that culinary arts class, you would need the Intro to Culinary Arts class as a prerequisite. Let's take a look at the aerospace engineering class that you could take as a 12th grader. In order to take that class, you would need to have Principles of Engineering as a prerequisite. In order to take Principles of Engineering, you would need to take Intro to Engineering. And in order to get into Intro to Engineering, you would need Algebra 1. Keep in mind that the FISD endorsement pathways are also located in the online course catalog and academic guide. Some classes are double blocked, which means they meet every day and include athletics, upper level K classes, and top band placements. They will count as 2 credits with the exception of athletics. Double block classes take up 2 boxes per year on your card. A student with a double block class might have a schedule that looks like this. On A day, the student might have Algebra 1 first period, and then English, and then Spanish, and end the day with basketball. On B day, they might have biology, and then health or speech, world geography third period, and then again end the day with basketball. If you see a class with an asterisk or a star beside it, it means that it's a 1-semester class. You need 2 one-semester classes to make up a full year or a full box on your course card. An example of semester classes that might go together are health and speech. If a class doesn't have an asterisk beside it, it just means that it's a full year class. Let's talk about pre-AP and AP classes. An AP class is one with college level instruction and college level expectations. A pre-AP class is an advanced high school class which prepares you for an AP class. An AP exam at the end of the year could earn college credit for a student who scores well on it. So who can take a pre-AP or AP class? Anyone can. It's an open door policy. The advantage of taking a pre-AP or AP class is that colleges like to see them if you do well in them, not if you're barely scraping by with a 70. They also add additional GPA weight. So before you sign up for a pre-AP or AP class, consult with your teachers because they know your abilities best, your parents, and your middle school counselor. There are many characteristics of a successful pre-AP and AP student. The biggest one is that the student really enjoys the subject matter and doesn't mind the extra time required for the class. Other characteristics include that the student works above grade level. They're a self-manager. They're motivated, organized, goal-oriented. They like to read. They're an efficient note-taker. They meet deadlines. They work independently. They manage their time well. They go above and beyond the teacher's expectations. And they manage stress well. What are the responsibilities of a pre-AP or AP student? First, they must be actively engaged in class, which means they ask questions, they're not afraid to ask questions, and they're not afraid to look for help when they need it. They do their homework every night and study for tests. They must be prepared to be judged by rigorous college level standards. There'll be more written versus multiple choice tests, more open-ended questions, and the work will be at a faster pace and will be more in-depth. Students have to be prepared to complete longer and more complex nightly assignments. They need to be ready to read 30 to 50 pages of textbook reading per week outside of class per pre-AP or AP class. So they need to expect 1 to 2 hours of homework nightly per class. We asked some of our current pre-AP and AP ninth graders to give their take on pre-AP and AP classes and offer some advice to our incoming ninth graders. Here's what they said. Time management is the most important thing. Pre-AP and AP classes take a lot more time than regular classes. Be ready for a lot of homework outside of class. Make your textbook your best friend. You actually need to do your homework on the night you get it, or you'll die. You shouldn't take all pre-AP and AP classes. You need some time to do the things that you like to do. You can't be afraid to ask your teachers if you need help. Keep in mind that taking a pre-AP or AP class is, at the very least, a 6-week commitment. If after 6 weeks you feel the pre-AP or AP class is not for you, you'll have a meeting with your teacher, parent, and counselor to see if a move to a regular class is the right move. If so, the grade you had at the 6 weeks will move with you to the new class and average into the 9-week grade in the regular class. The only other time a student may drop a pre-AP or AP class is at the semester. Many Many times we found students were avoiding taking regular classes that they loved because they were afraid it would lower their GPA. Now a student can choose one fine art or one athletic class to drop from GPA calculation in 11th and 12th grade, as long as they were in that same fine art or athletic class all the years preceding junior or senior year. A new rank and GPA policy was introduced last year, which removed numerical class rank for all but the top 10% of the class. After the top 10%, only quartile rankings are reported, and GPA is still viewable for everyone. This policy will take the pressure off students feeling like they have to keep a certain rank number, and students will feel better about taking the classes that they actually want to take versus taking a class just for GPA points. Let's talk about the four-year plan. You'll have 8 boxes to fill with classes for each year. For your core classes, circle on level, pre-AP, or AP on your course selection card. Before we start with the 4 core, I want to talk a little bit about GT Humanities. So GT Humanities is open to students who are in GT currently in middle school. It's a 2-year program that integrates pre-AP English 1 and AP World History. The pre-AP English 1 credit is for 9th grade, and the AP World History credit is for 10th grade. For students who are being tested this year for GT, don't sign up for Humanities just yet. When we get your scores, we can place you in the class if you choose to. On your card, you can write out to the side that you would like to be placed in GT when your scores come in if you qualify. Now let's look at English classes for next year. So in 9th grade, you can be in English 1, pre-AP English 1, or GT Humanities if you're currently in the GT class. For grade 10, you'll choose either English 2 or pre-AP English 2. For grade 11, you'll choose English 3, AP English Language, or GT American Studies, and that's something that we'll talk about later. For 12th grade, you'll choose English 4 or AP English Literature. The math sequence for high school is Algebra 1, then Geometry, Algebra 2, and then Pre-Cal. So if you're ahead in math, after Pre-Cal, you can take AP Calculus, Statistics, or AP Statistics. On this graphic, the top set of math choices are if you're in 8th grade math right now. The bottom math choices are if you're currently in Algebra 1 right now. Now let's talk about science. In 9th grade, you've got 2 choices, either biology or pre-AP biology. In 10th grade, either chemistry or pre-AP chemistry. In 11th grade, physics or AP Physics 1. And then in 12th grade, you've got a lot of choices, and you can find those choices on the handout that we gave you that has all classes on it. So on one side, remember, it was 9th and 10th grade, and on the other, 11th and 12th grade. You'll see a section that has science classes in it, and there's a lot to choose from. Okay, moving on to social studies. In 9th grade, you've got a couple choices, either World Geography or AP Human Geography. In 10th grade, either World History or AP World History or the GT Humanities class if you're doing that. 11th grade, you've got US History, AP US History, or GT American Studies. In 12th grade, you'll take a semester of government and a semester of economics. So those can either be on-level classes or AP classes or a mixture of the two. You just have to make sure that you have one of each. With your core end, that leaves 16 remaining boxes to fill. Take a look at the bottom of your card where you see the mandatory electives you must take. Those include World Language, Technology, PE, Fine Art, Health, Speech, and Electives. Use the What Counts for What handout to help you with this. You need 2 years of world language. You can choose from Spanish, French, or Chinese, which is online only. If you're taking Spanish 1 now, you should go ahead and put Spanish 2 or pre-AP Spanish 2 in one of your boxes for next year. You need 1 year of technology. Again, you can refer to the What Counts handout for help. Take a look at the list of classes you can take to fulfill your technology credit. Students must also take 1 year of fine arts. If you take multiple years of fine art, the first will count as your fine arts credit, and anything after that will count as an elective credit. A special note, all students will start in Theater 1. In order to take Tech Theater next year, you would need approval from your 8th grade theater teacher. Just have them sign your card. If you're going to participate in a fine arts credit like dance or orchestra all 4 years, you should write it in one box for each year, all 4 years. Health and speech are both one-semester classes. If you've had health in middle school or plan to take health and/or speech in summer school, put it in the far left column. Again, these are both one-semester classes and must be paired with another semester class to make up a full box or a full year. Debate, advanced public speaking, AP seminar, and dual credit intro to speech can now be used as speech credit. Professional communications is the actual name of the speech class when we go to input it in early February. You must have at least 1 year of PE credit, which can take many forms. Most freshmen take some sort of PE credit, and luckily there's many ways to get that credit. Take a look at the list. If you plan to participate in athletics all 4 years, put the name of the sport in 2 boxes each year. So you're going to put the name of the sport versus the word athletics. If you're a multi-sport athlete, put the name of the sport that comes first in the year. For instance, if you play football and baseball, you're going to put football on your card in both boxes since it comes first in the year. Counselors will move you to the next sport when the time comes. In order to be in athletics, you must try out for the sport you want to play and make the team in order to stay in the class. High school athletic teams are competitive, so you must already know how to play the sport you're trying out for. Cuts are made at the beginning of each semester, and if you're cut, you'll be placed in a PE class and an alternate elective class from your course card. If you are in fall semester band, cheer, color guard, dance team, or dance team training, you do not need to take an additional PE class since all of these count as PE credit. If you're not in band, athletics, dance, or cheer, you need to choose 1 year of PE. You can choose a regular PE class, outdoor education, which has elements of like scouting skills or survival skills, or partners PE, where you work with our special needs students. If you'd like to do partners PE in 9th grade, go ahead and write it in, and we'll have Coach Swearingen contact your middle school teacher for approval. You'll need at least 4 elective credits beyond the mandatory electives. They can be anything that's not considered mandatory, or it could be additional levels of those mandatory electives that you took and want to remain in, like another art class or another band class or athletics. Let's talk about choosing your 9th grade classes. Your 10th through 12th class selections are tentative and can be changed later, but your 9th grade selections are what we will enter for your schedule next year. So what classes can you take? Not all classes listed in the online catalog are offered at every campus or to every grade level. Your choices are listed on the back of your course card. Refer to the handout with classes for 9th and 10th grade on one side of the page and 11th and 12th grade on the other side of the page. Lebanon Trail has a video course catalog to help you make choices for which classes you'd like to take. Go to the LT website and click on the Counselor tab at the top of the page. Look for the tile labeled Video Course Catalog, and there you'll find videos on pre-AP and AP classes, CATE classes, world languages, fine arts, and more. Now let's look at the 9th grade column. You're going to circle the level, either regular or pre-AP or AP, that you want for all 4 core classes. Now you'll fill in the remaining 4 boxes. It could be filled with activities like band, orchestra, choir, color guard, dance team, theater, debate, or maybe it's athletics, which remember takes up 2 boxes. Don't forget you're going to be putting either Spanish 2 or pre-AP Spanish 2 if you're taking Spanish 1 now. If you'd like to be in band, for now all students should sign up for a single block band or 1 box on your card. If after auditions in May you make double block band, we'll move you to a 2nd band class. You may even put a note next to the elective you want to drop if you make double block band. If you want to be on our dance team, Emerald Elite, sign up for dance team training. If you make Emerald Elite, we'll move you to the dance team class. If you don't plan to audition for Emerald Elite, sign up for Dance 1. This is a dance class just for fun, not to learn dance team routines. you're interested in a CAPE pathway and sequence, remember to check prerequisites. Work backward from the 12th grade class you ultimately want to be in to see what classes you'll need to get there. Many CAPE pathways require prereqs that start in 9th grade. Look at the online course catalog for sequencing and prerequisites. If you have leftover boxes, think about getting some of those mandatory electives out of the way. World language, technology, fine art, health, speech, or PE. It's not uncommon for an elective class not to work in a schedule, so we ask that you give us 4 alternates that you'd be happy to take as well. Take a look at the bottom of your card where you'll find 4 boxes numbered 1 through 4. Only choose classes on the back of your card and don't forget to check the prereqs. Do not list any classes that require teacher approval or a tryout. If you don't give us alternates for your electives, we'll have to pick for you, and you may not like what we pick. Remember, May 1st is the last day to change anything on your 9th grade section of your card. The only allowed changes after May 1st are during the first 7 days of school, and it's only 7 classes. That includes athletics, band, orchestra, choir, color guard, drill team, and academic decathlon. There are no regular elective changes, just those 7 classes. Also remember that pre-AP and AP classes are a 6-week commitment. Since it's something new, I'm going to reiterate that May 1st is the last day to make changes to classes for next year. There will be 0 schedule changes this summer. The only changes made after May 1st occurred during the first 7 days of the school year, and it only includes athletics, band, choir, orchestra, drill team, color guard, and ag tech. You and your parent will be signing off that you understand this policy on the bottom of your card. With this new rule, you need to give a lot of thought to choosing pre-AP and AP classes. After May 1st, you may not change your mind about moving up or down in levels. Once you choose those pre-AP and AP classes for next year, after May 1st, you're bound to that choice until the end of the first 6 weeks. Again, on your card, you're signing off that you understand and accept this new rule. Find the place on the back side of your card to acknowledge the due date for schedule changes policy, the pre-AP AP May 1st deadline and 6 weeks commitment, and 4-year plan adjustments. Read the statements and sign those now. What are the next steps? Turn in your card by the due date listed on the top left corner of the card. If you don't turn in a card, your schedule becomes counselor's choice. Take a picture of your card before turning it in. Be sure you have a total of 8 class periods, and remember that athletics counts as 2 periods. And then don't forget your parent's signature. Everyone needs balance in their life. You can't take all pre-AP and AP classes, be involved in band or athletics or extracurricular activities, and expect to be successful in everything. It's just not possible. We all need downtime to relax and to sleep. Don't stretch yourself so thin that you're miserable. We have some dates for you to remember. January 29th is Rising Freshman Night from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Lebanon Trail. On February 11th from 5 to 6:30, the CAPE Center will host an open house. If you're thinking about a particular CAPE pathway, this would be a good time for you to go and learn about it. Cards are due back to Fowler by January 31st and to Clark by February 3rd. May 1st is the last day to make any changes to your 9th grade course requests for next year. And then in August, Lebanon Trail will host our Freshman Stampede or orientation. Watch the LT website and your school email for details. This presentation will be posted on the Lebanon Trail Counselor website for reference. Attend Rising Freshman Night with your parent. All core classes will be represented, as well as elective classes and athletics. We look forward to seeing the class of 2024 next year.